I'm keeping all that shit where I yell at you about flu shots and stuff. So it's fine.
Okay.
Podcast about sports. My name is Bob, sitting across the way from my good friend and co-host. That's Abe. How you doing tonight, Abe?
Doing well, Bob.
Yeah, here we are. Lori's here too. How you doing tonight, Lori?
I'm nervous.
Lori's nervous. Tonight is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. Lori must be nervous about the Jets and the Patriots game.
That's exactly what I'm nervous about.
The Jets are road underdogs, 12.5 points. You know what? That game is stupid. We are not going to bet that game because I have a sneaking suspicion that Abe would just take the Pats.
What is it, give me like 50 cents? Like
on the money line, which would return, like 53 cents on a $5 bet. We're not doing that, Abe. It's not going to be that easy for you. We're going to go, let's see here. You know what? The Hawks are playing tonight.
Oh.
Tip off in about an hour. Hawks are 1.5 point favorites on the road at the Utah Jazz. Follow much Hawks basketball this season, Abe?
I know that they've righted the ship. They're like on a 3-game winning streak without their superstar no defense playing Trae Young. So people are saying maybe this team.
We still calling Trae Young a superstar?
I guess I should revise that down to star Trae Young.
Didn't the Jazz have like a renaissance last year, a couple of years ago or something? Weren't they good for a little bit, or am I mistaken?
You know what's weird is in the NBA, I don't know what's going on. Other than big franchises, it's like you have like one good year and then people get all your players and you go back to sucking. So yeah, they were good for a brief period and then, they're back to being mediocre. Although you're thinking probably like 4 or 5 years when they have like Donovan Mitchell.
All right, that's about how long it's been since I thought much about baseball or basketball.
Yeah. The one good thing about the Jazz is that they kept that name. Like they were like the New Orleans Jazz, which made sense. And then Utah. I don't think they have a pretty strong jazz scene, but here they are, still the Jazz.
It's very weird.
You're going out there-ish when you go visit the Grand Canyon.
That's
Can't you
right.
make
Yeah. Actually, where am I going?
Swing over to Utah?
Nevada and Arizona.
Arizona. All right, give me give me a pick here.
Oh, come on, the Hawks. They won 3 in a row. Why not 4 in a row? That's what I was
Hawks minus 1.5 or Hawks money line. It's not too much of a difference there.
No, it's basketball. 1.5. Somebody's sweating 1.5. No, let's do money line.
All right, it's a $5 bet on the Hawks money line to win $4.03 in return.
Consider it one.
And Atlanta continues to dominate the road. They are 6-2. And that fourth quarter, the difference maker and the 3-ball tonight, 24 of 47 for Atlanta.
You would have bet the Patriots, though, right? Like if given that opportunity.
But I wouldn't mess with the spread. What is it, like 12.5? It's too weird.
12.5 points is a rather large spread.
Yeah. I think it's
the Jets. Maybe the Jets are hot, right? The Jets got a big win last week.
Is this the big Gronk game, like where they do like a ceremony for him?
He signed like a 1-day contract to come back and retire as a Patriot.
Yeah. What other choice was he going to do? Like retire as a Tampa Bay Buck? What was a couple of years he played?
I mean, he literally did, right? He retired as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
Wait, you can do that? I thought when they retired once, you can retire twice.
No, but he retired.
But he just retired from the NFL. Did he retire from the Bucs?
I don't know. Did he announce his retirement before or after he was contractually obligated with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
That's a good question, yeah. I don't know. You should only be able to retire with a team once. You can't do that. Double dipping.
Anything exciting going on this week, Abe?
Not exactly.
The shutdown is over?
Yes.
Do they all come back to work just like that?
Yeah, so what happens is...
Or are they given a little grace period?
So the grace period you're given, you're supposed to be given 4 hours notice. And so this happened overnight.
4
like at night.
hours?
So a good chunk of my coworkers who have been at home this whole time came this morning. But then there are a couple people because they were...
Did they come like blearily walking in, like bloodshot eyes and unshaven beards? They look like Walking Dead.
It's not the old school, everybody in this under the same roof environment. So everybody's like somewhere else. So my coworkers are in Philadelphia and Buffalo and Austin and Fresno. So like I don't actually see them. But they were on the Microsoft Teams, like, hey, welcome back with the emojis and the like.
All right. Well, that's exciting. Another productive government shutdown. I know this isn't the politics or news show, but I guess we just have these now, right?
Well,
just all the time.
Not all the time.
Maybe the silver lining to see like how fruitless this endeavor was. Maybe this is the silver lining is that people are going to be less likely to do it because there's no deliverables usually with these things. It's just a waste of an effort. So like if the result of this is that people say, let's not do this again because what was the point the last time, then it would have been worth it. Otherwise, it was a total waste of time.
Yeah.
What about the ESPN and Disney and YouTube TV? Nothing there.
What is going on? I don't understand. Like the government's
open. It's going to
open.
go on longer than the shutdown.
Yeah, I wonder
It's going to affect me way more.
The Georgia game's on ABC, right?
It doesn't matter. I'm just paying.
No, but I'm not.
Whoever
I still have
to.
not caved to their demand, So I either will go to a bar.
Did I not tell you that I got a credit for the extra that I paid Disney?
Oh, really? Was it that $20 credit email that they sent? Or something else?
No.
Okay.
Not the YouTube TV credit, which Bob got, but because of my Amex Blue, not a sponsor, I paid $6.99 or whatever extra, and then just now got a credit from the Amex, like Disney bundle credit.
No, it's a one-off, or is this going to be? It's a one-time thing.
I don't know. Well, because my normal credit, I use the Amex Blue to pay for Disney Plus, and I get a $10 a month credit.
Okay.
Just every month, but now I upgraded the thing, and it gave me whatever extra. So I don't know. We'll see next month.
Credit cards are just the weirdest fucking scheme. Like I know obviously what they want is they want for you to have a balance month to month, and now you're paying 19% or 27% or whatever ridiculous APR they want you to carry all the time. But like you pay $150 or whatever, or $100 or something for these cards, and they always, if you're not an idiot, they almost always pay for themselves, right?
They
like
really pay for
like my
themselves.
my Costco membership, they have you sign up for the executive membership or whatever, like $150 a year, as opposed to $80 a year for the baseline Costco membership. But then if you sign up to be once you're an executive member, you're getting, I don't remember what the number is, but like 3% back on all of your purchases anyway.
And like 6 on gas.
And then if you further sign up for the Costco Visa, like whoever their banking partner is, you get another 5 or 6% back on all of your purchases. And as long as you're not carrying a balance on your Costco credit card, which, don't be an idiot.
Right.
It's more than paying for itself just in rewards nonsense.
Right.
My Amazon card has been the same way. I have never not out-earned in rewards back the cost of Amazon Prime.
Right.
Like I've never, like if you look at the balance sheet there, I don't pay, I pay once a year $120 or whatever for Amazon Prime, but I earn that much back in points.
Right.
Which I just spent. I mean, granted, I just spend it on Amazon. They don't cut me a check or what have you.
Right.
But like the money gets spent on Amazon, but it's money that I wouldn't otherwise
spend
have,
that anyway.
and money that I would be spending anyway. So.
That's the funny thing about credit cards is that you can make it work for you, right? But like I think if you look at the number, I think it's about 50-50. About 50% of credit card holders carry over balances, right? So they don't reap any sort of benefits. But if you're disciplined enough, and I'm not saying like disciplined like you're running a marathon, it's not that difficult, or it shouldn't be thought of as that difficult. But if you pay your balance timely, it could be to your advantage. Actually, I'm in some group chat with some people, some of my friends who are into these, like, oh, I got this free, I was able to fund my trip because of I did some scheme, and you can too. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do this whole thing.
No, that's not you just use credit cards.
There's a way
I hate flying, and I don't want to pay money to do something I hate.
Right.
So I use credit card points for that.
Right. But yeah,
every time I fly.
Yeah, so
pretty much.
you can make it work that way, right? Where you can use your points. So if you're disciplined enough, it can work. But the credit card companies are betting that enough people to make it worth their while are not going to pay on time. Just like those goofy commercials about like rooms to go. You don't have to pay until 2048 or whatever, right? Because like if you don't pay within that a lot of time, you retroactively pay.
All of a sudden your $2,500 couch costs you $9,500.
Right. And enough people pay that $95, right? So like the calculation is there. Enough people are not paying. So like you're basically everybody who pays on time and benefits is doing it on the backs of the people who are not, which is their fault. It's not like
which also
yeah, but they should just do it.
That's what I mean. Like it all makes me feel weird, right? Like anytime you're doing this stuff, the only reason that, like as Clark Howard used to say, the credit card companies would call me a deadbeat, right? Because I never pay interest and I always pay on time, and so like they don't get any free stuff out of me. So I'm considered a deadbeat customer of theirs. But like the only reason that I am able to have this relationship with this bank is because many of my fellow citizens are idiots, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing that keeps this thing going.
Right. But the opportunity remains for those, as you call it, not my words, idiots, to become not idiots.
Look, if the credit card company can call me a deadbeat for paying my bills on time, then I can call my fellow man an idiot and not feel too bad about it. Speaking of, I mean, this is just classic annoying blowhard stuff. The credit card commercials and the insurance, the car insurance and home insurance commercials, I'm so fucking tired of them. Like I know we're only halfway through football season here, and so it's the only time of year that I really watch television commercials. But it's just fucking brutal. You know, Jake from State Farm. Do you recall? I'm sure we've had this conversation. Jake from State Farm started as a slouchy.
Right.
Yes, we have had this conversation.
I do recall that. Yeah.
A slouchy white fella, right, wearing khakis. Right. That was the first Jake from State Farm joke.
She sounds hideous.
Right, the horned up guy or wife comes downstairs and is like, husband, who's a fucking total slob himself, must be chatting with some horned up lady on the other side of the telephone line here.
To be fair, he was behaving in such a way. Like, who's speaking to their...
Because he was turned on by the rates.
Right.
He's turned on by the savings.
He's whispering about things. Like, what's going on over here?
Well, he's trying to, doesn't want to wake everybody.
Yes.
But Jake from State Farm is a slovenly khaki-wearing fella himself, right? And then replace him. I don't know if it was George Floyd or whatever.
Oh, yeah,
well, it was gonna be. They were gonna get Jake Fromm to do it,
right?
Because Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
What do you?
But then he got in trouble for being lightly racist.
Oh, is that why they? What do you think caused the shift? Do you think they said like we could do better, or did the Jake from the original Jake from State Farm said I want like flow money? Like,
well, I was gonna say they're probably looking around and going, all right, so is Jake from is original white slovenly Jake from State Farm flow from? Is he really the next Verizon Can You Hear Me Now guy?
I feel
like he just doesn't have that. Like they stumbled upon something with the Jake from State Farm
with the
thing.
New one.
But like, I don't think this guy can carry this for the next decade, 15 years.
There may have been a crossover period with both of them.
I think that they brought him back or something. It doesn't matter. All of this is beside the point. The issue with Jake from State Farm now is that he is so ridiculously ripped.
Right.
Like when he first showed up, he was a fit young black man, fine. But now, like they can't find shirts big enough for this dude. Like he's just so fully ripped, hanging out with Patrick Mahomes and taking steroids or something all the time.
Why?
Bob just looks at jacked dudes. All he sees when he looks at men is like, what's that guy doing?
But why
What's
is that dude so fucking
taking?
jacked? It's super weird.
In the case of my boss, it's walking with a weighted vest all the time.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Jake from State Farm is doing.
Maybe I don't know, you were convinced Mike was taking stuff.
Maybe the original schlub served as a cautionary tale, like, oh, these powers that be, they hate fat, so I need to get yoked for job security. So he went the other way, and it's working. He still has a job.
Yeah.
If he got lazy and he gained a few pounds,
There cannot possibly be a better gig then, like, was this always the case? Were there always these spokespeople who would stick around for decades?
This has to be more recent, like the last 15, 20 years, right?
The Toyotathon, because we have Flo from Progressive, right? We all know who that is. Jake from State Farm. Why is
Michelin Man?
Why is that chick in the Toyota
the
commercials
Michelin
been
Man.
the same chick for all of these years?
The Charmin guy.
Wait, who? I don't remember. There's a chick from what?
In the Toyota commercials, she's usually wearing a red top. She's brunette. She's kind of chirpy.
Okay.
Just Google it. You'll know exactly
okay.
who she is.
For some reason, Chirpy did the trick, which I don't know why, but I know exactly what you mean. Yes.
Why has that person been the face? Like, what tests are they running?
Yeah.
That convince them that, like, we cannot possibly go any other way. Like, because you could just pay the marginal rate to, like, I don't know what the Toyota chick makes on an annual basis for being the face of Toyotathon every year.
Right.
But, like, just pay them the SAG minimum or whatever.
I can't imagine. I mean, it's a nationwide
How do you
commercial.
know they're not?
They're getting paid a good chunk of money. I mean, this is, from what I hear, it pays really well because these are, I mean, they're playing to Super Bowls and NFL games and college football games. I mean, it's drawing a lot of eyeballs. So they're getting paid decent
and
money.
there's also that Capital One guy that I don't like.
the new
Capital
yeah.
One,
Trust.
rapey Capital One guy.
But they switched people
He's
around.
very
Didn't they
rapey.
have Jennifer Garner and other celebrities for Capital One? And then now
Yes, but that's not the same thing.
right. And now they have this guy. And then,
This Capital One guy who's not gone away. It's been several years now.
yeah. And he's
And now there's like the joke. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear from the astronaut or
yeah. Or
Aaron Rodgers.
Derek Jeter, right?
Who
Wasn't
is
it Derek Jeter?
Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Who's Alex Rodriguez? I mixed them all up.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. They thought, oh, they're asking me, and they're like, no.
He's enough of a celebrity.
Yeah. And whenever they they have like some college football like sponsored bowl like that guy, he'll show up like hey, I'm the guy from the commercial. It's like I'm the face of this company for some reason. I do wonder, like, no one grows up wanting to be a TV commercial star, right? Like you want to be like a main thing. So I wonder if when they were like, okay, this is my life, I'm going to embrace it.
But if you want to be a working actor,
yes,
that is the way to do it. Like if you don't want to get a real job.
Not a working actor. Flo is not a working actor, right?
What other job do you think she has?
I don't know, but the annoying, like,
She
what
does
about the other
improv,
annoying people
on
in
the
the
side.
Progressive commercials, right?
Yeah.
Like,
They are probably, but they might hop around doing other things. Like that is how. What I'm saying is, these gigs, as dumb as they are, these people are making a living.
making-
yeah, I'm not questioning it from their standpoint.
Okay, that's what a working actor is. Someone who is.
I mean, we're the dumbasses giving them all the free pub here, I guess, is the lesson.
oh yes,
But, like,
all this pub.
Yeah, the publicity they're getting from
I
this.
just don't. I don't understand the economics of it from that end. In terms of like, what do they imagine? Why is seeing that same girl in the Toyota commercials for a decade going to make me want to go buy a Toyota over a Honda or whatever?
It's not clear, but
And
she does, right? Like, so, like, you can't believe these internet things, but she gets about $800,000 a year for these Flo commercials, right? So that's a nice chunk and change, and she can maybe
Yeah, I mean, she's a millionaire because she does the stupid
right.
Flo commercial.
But also, like, you can't walk around telling people you're an actor to other actors. I bet you they look down on this sort of work, right? Please, you're not a real actor. You're hawking some shit.
It does limit your ability to like say or think anything, right? In public.
Yes.
Like if you were making $1 million a year as Flo from
That's
Progressive,
true. Imagine like Flo was.
you can't have an extra glass of wine
Right.
after dinner and just hop on Twitter and start tweeting out takes.
That is true. You can't get sauced at at a Georgia Texas game, getting a little belligerent. You know, somebody's gonna get their phone and hey, that's the Flo lady, and she's behaving like a rube. You know, and then there goes your career. You're right. It's very limiting. I would not want to be selling insurance.
That's right.
That's me though.
All right, good talk. Let's open the WGAS NewsBag Sports Edition. It's time for Who Gives a Shit News Sports. I just saw this on The Athletic. Steph Curry, Under Armour, and 12-year partnership. Speaking of commercials, look, it is not news when a shoe company stops selling shoes with a near billionaire athlete. All right? That's not news.
It shouldn't be news.
It's been an incredible privilege to work with Stephen, who as president, I guess it's Stefan, who as president of Curry Brand has been much more than an ambassador. He's become a thoughtful and strategic business leader. Kevin Plank, founder and CEO of Under Armour, said in a news release. Together with our teammates, he helped build something rare, a brand with credibility, community impact, and product that performs at the highest level. For Under Armour, this moment is about discipline and focus on the core UA brand during a critical stage of our turnaround. And for Stefan, it's the right moment to let what we created evolve on his terms. We'll always be grateful for what he's brought to the UA team.
Wow. What spin?
From an article at The Athletic. This is not... Why are you doing their PR?
Yeah, that is true. It is basically like a press release.
Speaking of the NBA, as long as we're talking about the NBA, this week, Nico Harrison was fired by the Dallas Mavericks.
What a remarkable year he's had. It was only like 9 months ago, back in February, people woke up to the news that Luka was traded, and a lot of people initially did not believe it because it was such a preposterous story, but it turned out to be true. And this guy, Nico, the GM, he was the spearheading force within the organization to get rid of him because I guess he was not competitive enough to his liking, and he did not take care of his body to his liking. He thought he was a little too fat for his liking.
Luka was a fat slob. All right. The standard issue take here, and I don't watch or consume sports talk really anymore, so I don't know what's going on out there. I assume that my contrarian position here has been taken up by some obnoxious blowhard or another.
Right.
But there's a lot of dumping on this Nico Harrison character.
Right.
For obvious, I mean, if you're a status quo lover and
colossal fuck up. I can't express to you how big of a fuck up.
Look, it doesn't surprise me that you have that position here, Abe. But as somebody who thinks a little bit outside the box,
yes, outside the correct box.
Luka was a big fat slob, right? Did he perform despite being a big fat slob to a very high standard? Yes, he most certainly did.
It should be noted, he is not like, as you describe him, he had some little baby fat on him, like...
Baby fat that after being traded to the Lakers, he came back this year down 30 pounds. Svelte. He's committed to a low sugar, low carb, high protein diet.
Right. It's a spiked diet.
He does this. Yeah. He does the intermittent fasting now. Look, here he was in Dallas. On the verge of just getting already fat and happy.
Okay, again,
right?
you are overselling.
I have no. He said, I never thought I was going to leave Dallas. Right. I thought I was there for life. You know what he's surrounded by? Fucking horny MILF housewives. That's what's going on in Dallas. Just oil magnate and car salesman magnate trophy wives with nothing but the thrill of cheating on their husbands on their minds down there in Dallas. No real culture, right? Dallas is one of our poorest cultured cities, even as they have all sorts of money.
What did Dallas do to you?
Nothing to live up to out there in Dallas, right? Okay. The perfect home for a lazy fat man to just continue to drink beer and eat fast food and stuff, and yeah, perform adequately.
He took his team to the finals. This guy was a generational talent. He was 25 years old. He wasn't some like over-the-hill slob as you characterize him.
On his way to being an over-the-hill slob. Look, you could smoke cigarettes and drink all sorts of beer and eat fried food in your 20s. You wouldn't even fucking feel it, right? You get out of bed the next day and you're fucking fine. Not the case the older you get. It was well documented that the Mavs were all over Luka to get his shit together, right? And try to get in better shape. And he just wouldn't do it. Fat and happy in Dallas.
First of all,
then,
do you
then Nico Harrison, a hero, says, look, I want what's best not just for the Dallas Mavericks, not just for Luka Doncic, but for basketball, right? I believe Luka to be a generational talent, and I believe we cannot get out of him his true ceiling. So I am going to send him to Los Angeles. And he is going to be motivated by all of the skinny, smoking hot models out there and
the men,
the LA culture to get his ass in shape. They will not put up with a big fat cigarette smoking, beer drinking slob.
The environment will
out
not
there.
allow it. Like, he's going to have to shape up because of...
That's right. And what happened? He's dropped 30 pounds. He's better than ever now. Having a better year this year than he did in Dallas the year before. And on top of that, the Dallas Mavericks got the number one overall pick and landed Cooper Flagg.
Right.
So this will be looked back upon as a moment in which you could have done the easy thing. You could have said, look, we got Luka.
Right.
Who's going to be mad at me for not trading Luka when he's 25? Nobody. But Nico said, no, I'm interested in doing the difficult thing.
You know, it's this Nico that you champion for some reason, Bob. Oddly enough, you mentioned Steph Curry at the top of this segment here. Back in 2013, Nico botched a Nike. He was working for Nike at the time. He botched a pitch to Steph Curry to come to Nike, and he ended up at Under Armour because he called him Seth, which is his brother's name, instead of Steph. Like, there was just a bunch of fuck ups. Like, this guy is one of these fail upwards types. Like, I don't know how he was an executive at Nike, how he became the GM at Dallas. Like, this guy's not gonna get another job again. Just a fucking idiot. Good riddance. And I don't know who is so generous that they would want to set up their
How's Nike doing these days?
They're doing just fine.
Nike's doing just fine. And what's going on over there at Under Armour?
They survived Nico. They didn't thrive because of him.
Nike's just fine.
Yeah.
Under Armour is even better off, right? Steph Curry had a perfectly good relationship with the fine people at Under Armour. No harm, no foul there.
Right.
Nico is trying to create a better world for all of us by spreading the wealth.
Except for himself, because his name now is tarnished in the NBA, and he was fired within the year. The only the other people who sucked in this are the owner and front office for that team, because he spearheaded this idea, but he needed others to sign off on this, right? And so the people who signed off on this in February are throwing him under the bus in November. So those people are demonstrating some low character behavior. They should take on the heat that they're getting from their fan base, but instead they threw him under the bus to say, like, fuck that guy, it was his fault, and they can move on. They were in on this decision.
Trust the process is what Nico Harrison should be saying right now. Let's see here. Brian Kelly has filed a lawsuit against LSU because the school... There's this weird thing. The school insisted that they hadn't actually fired him yet.
Okay, what is that argument? Like, I was reading this. They were saying that the person who fired him did not have the authority to fire him, and they fired...
Yeah, the fired athletic director.
He was not in a position to fire him, so technically he was never fired. Like, they're trying to get out of this.
It will be very... Because now LSU is saying that we have cause to fire you, and so we're not going to pay you the $50 million that we're supposed to pay you. And Kelly has said, look, you've got to tell me that I'm fired, and then, I'm open to contract negotiations here in terms of a buyout, but, you fired me,
right.
so
also,
what are we doing here? And it would be very funny to me if LSU said, no, nobody officially fired you. What are you talking about? And the cause is you stopped showing up to work,
right.
You jackass.
In that,
what? Go ahead.
He should then show up to work. Like,
yeah,
right?
Just come on
and
back.
if the card doesn't
Costanza.
work, I don't know what the coaches do. Do they have to turn in their equipment and stuff, like their badge or whatever? I don't know if it's still active. But if you're telling me that I was never fired and I'm being fired now because I'm not showing up, I'm going to show up.
It's such a weird thing to imagine too, because it's not like in the NFL. You don't think of the NFL where the head coach is like the fucking king,
right?
Right? Like
Yeah, that's the
he's
difference.
still just another employee.
Right.
But like when you're when Mark Richt is fired from the University of Georgia, like he's been the king
Right.
for 15 years.
Right.
Like, what do you mean he's
Right.
fired? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, who's going to stop Mark Richt
Right.
from walking back into the building the next day?
Well, and in Mark
you
Richt's
know?
case, it was nobody
I mean-
because everybody still loved him.
But also, like,
No, but in any like James Franklin,
Yeah.
everyone opened the door for him, laid out the carpet for him, et cetera, for 10 years at Penn State. and all of a sudden it's like somebody's got to walk him out, and he's got the cardboard box and he's putting his personals inside of it. Like it's got to be among the most bizarre experiences you can imagine.
What holds that together is pride. Like I can't imagine any of these coaches would stoop to that level to where they would like try to stay where they're not wanted.
Where have we heard before of people doing business with contracts and just not paying them?
Like Donald Trump, you mean?
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. That's why it sounds familiar. It's very Trumpy.
It is a bizarre...
On LSU's
yeah.
part?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a bizarre...
It's like, oh, we're just not going to pay you because we didn't actually fire you. Actually, I don't even know who you are. Could you please leave?
Do they...
It gets very Trumpy.
Do they not take the broader view here? Okay, so you have a meddling governor, not good for the recruitment effort, right, to get a top-flight coach. And now you have this convoluted argument that you were never fired and we're going to try to get underneath this contract. That's also not going to help your recruitment, right? Like, I don't understand what they're trying to do. Like, from what I assume that this is just a negotiating tactic to try to get the right number, because, like, the buyout was at 20-some-odd million, then it was at 30 million, and he said no to both. They'll come to some agreement, 35, because it at some point it makes sense for Kelly to take the lump sum, because the way the existing contract works, if he gets hired somewhere else, it's going to offset what they owe him, right? So, like, if he's going to get, instead of the 54 million, he gets 35, that's good enough. Get the 35 million and then get another job, if he's going to get another job. If he's retired, I would drag this out. I'd just go fishing, But if he's going to coach again, he's going to get paid $8 to $10 million anyways a year. So
how old is he? He's in his mid-60s already, right?
He's like Kurt Signetti's age, right? So, like, he can, turn the franchise around somewhere else.
It's just bizarre to me that like a retirement age person has it in their contract that they must seek employment elsewhere. Yeah. Like, how does that hold up in court? If you could be collecting Social Security, you're telling me you can't get a judge to say no. Like, he's retired. Right. You can't force him to go continue looking for work. And that was the risk that you took when you wrote a contract to an old man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I'm sure that wouldn't hold up in court. People are working into their 70s now. And I think, like, what isn't Kelly being tied to the Michigan State? I saw something about him going somewhere up north at some point. But yeah, I think LSU's case is pretty weak, and it is tarnishing the brand a little bit. I don't know what they're doing.
All right. Speaking of Trump criticized various things football related when he went on the Pat McAfee show on Veterans Day.
Boy, McAfee's getting all the guests.
I have bad news. He shares our feeling when it comes to the new kickoff rule in football. He said, "I do have to say I'll probably get myself in a little trouble for this. I hate the new kickoff in football. I think it's so terrible. I think it's so demeaning, and I think it hurts the game. It hurts the pageantry. I told that to Roger Goodell." I don't think it's any safer. You still have guys crashing into each other. It's the opposite of what the game stands for. The ball is in the air and nobody's moving. It's supposed to be when the ball is in the air, when the ball is played, you're supposed to be moving. It's so bad. It's so unromantic. It's just demeaning to football. I don't think they have a right to do that to the game. The game is so important. I hope college doesn't change. I hope someday the NFL will stop it and go back to football.
Okay.
Yeah. The one, they threw out many different reasons for changing the kickoff rule, but one of them was that they weren't getting enough action because these kickers in the NFL are so good that it would be the touchback or whatever.
It's all touchbacks.
Right.
It's 90% touchbacks.
Right. So basically, they were like, what can we do? We'll say it's for safety, but we need some juice. We need some contact in special teams. And now there are more returns. I mean, not as much as back in the day, but more. So, like, if you're trying to get a little more activity in the special teams department, this is kind of accomplishing that. Visually, it does look weird. I don't know about this pageantry issue. Like, it's not going to ruin anything. It's totally fine. But if you're getting more action, more returns, then I'm for that.
All right. I guess that wraps up the WGAS NewsBag Sports Edition. It's now time to move on to the best game in every time slot. Actually, you know what? I've got a sports-adjacent question of the week, quickly.
Okay.
I saw this article linked on Drudge today, and you had to scroll through all of the all of the Epstein stuff, which is
This Epstein thing will never die.
getting weird.
Huh, not it might.
I don't fully understand where these emails were a year ago and 2 years ago, because like presumably Biden's Justice Department had this stuff, right?
Not all of the stuff, because didn't they get this from the estate of Epstein, and it wasn't available until recently? They had some stuff, but not all of it.
Anyway, I got through all of that, and there's a link to an article at The Atlantic, The Disappearance of Everyday Nudity. And it's lamenting, in some ways, how locker rooms are no longer a place for communal public nudity. He says, not long ago, after a day of work, a colleague and I met for a friendly game of racquetball at our university gym. In the newly designed locker room, I began pulling off my shirt to change when he quickly stopped me. You can't do that here. Undressing, it turned out, was now permitted only in small private stalls, which struck me as odd. This was a gym with a pool, where someone could go directly from a shirts-on locker room to a shirtless swim. But the logic was clear enough. The space had been redesigned as universal, for people of all genders. The locker room, once a place for casual and normative nudity, had quietly become a place where modesty was expected. My Seattle gym is far from the only one to adopt the practice, though public nakedness isn't completely gone. Many of the everyday spots where Americans once encountered unclothed bodies, locker rooms, school showers, public pools, bathhouses, have either vanished or shifted away from collective nudity. In 2017, Athletic Business, a trade pub for sports facility design and management, reported that communal showers without curtains or dividers had virtually disappeared from new construction. This year, a different trade publication noted that one of the prevailing trends in locker room design is privacy, a way to make a, quote, diverse user base feel comfortable. It's a striking reversal. For more than a century, the cultural norm in the United States was that nudity was acceptable, at least within same-sex environments. Over the past couple decades or so, that idea has largely dissolved. This sort of nudity is so rarely discussed that we don't really have vocabulary for it. The term non-sexual nudity feels inadequate because for some, changing in a locker room could carry a charge of eroticism. Communal nudity is no better, evoking images of orgies or nudist colonies, rather than once routine forms of unclothed life. The fact that the practice never really had a name suggests how unremarkable it once was.
Yeah, I think it did have a name, nudity. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I think it was just nakedness, right? Like you were just naked
Also,
in the locker room.
Casual nudity.
I don't know what sort of gyms this guy goes to, but or this lady. But before, now I have a gym in my apartment complex. But back when I used to go to LA Fitness, there were plenty of old geezers with their balls hanging out, like a lot.
Yeah, it's the old ones.
So I wonder if they died off, and now what remains are the prudes.
Which is weird because you would think that, like, we've become less modest, but we haven't.
Right.
We've become more, because the old people are the ones that are like, what's the big deal? We're all women. It's like, yeah, but you're naked.
Right.
We don't need to be naked.
By the time I was in locker rooms, granted, I did not play team sports past, like, into high school, right? So, like, I didn't have, it's not like I was on a baseball team and we'd all hit the showers after the game and then there'd be that opportunity for that sort of thing. But, like, gym class or whatever, like none of us were showering in the middle of the day or anything like that. There was no changing that happened. And then by the time I was working out in gyms in my 20s in Athens, I would just go to the gym in my workout clothes and then go home and take a shower. Like and if there was a shower in that gym in Athens, there was only a couple of stalls and it wasn't like it was a public thing. And like that, I mean, that's 20 years ago now, almost, right? I have no experience with locker room or school or gym nudity. So to me, this has been going on for much longer than just the last couple of decades.
See. But yeah, I do wonder if overall, though, there was a general trend. I'll stop by LA Fitness this weekend and report back next week.
Oh, yeah? You still got a membership there? You're just going to see if see how many scrotums you see?
Well, it's also, like, I think it's, yes, been going on for more than a couple decades. And now when new construction happens, it's like people want privacy. So they build them to the trend of people wanting privacy, and then now it's like, well, how am I supposed to see some floppy dicks?
Yeah, I don't even like going into the public restrooms where they have like the trough.
Oh, the
like,
trough.
among the most like sort of scarring moments of my young life was at Giant Stadium in like 1992 when I have to like try to reach the trough with my little legs and my little wiener, and I'm surrounded by these massive dudes with their big floppy dongs hanging out. Like, I want no part of this. And it's literally just like I don't know how big it was, but in my head, in my memory, I see like you round the corner into this fucking bathroom and it's like 30 feet and it just looks like, I mean, a trough is the only word
I've
for
been
it.
to them. Yeah, they would just throw ice and then people would just stand on it, just pee on
Just a 20-foot long stainless steel trough attached to the wall. And it's like, dongs out. Here we go, boys, all at once.
Avert your gaze.
Well, and New Jersey's weird too, with the shirts off all the time.
I didn't care for that, certainly. This is also from the article. Naked swimming, at least for men, also became more commonplace as more bathhouses opened. For decades, they functioned as facilities both for cleaning and for leisure. Bathers might bring soap into the water, rinsing off before they began to swim. Then, when indoor plumbing spread and the need for collective bathing diminished, many public baths were gradually refitted as recreational swimming pools. The line between nude bathing and swimming remained blurred. Textile technology also played a role in encouraging nude swimming. Because early bathing suits were made of fabrics that shed fibers, clogging filters and spreading debris, many facilities banned them outright. The progressive era's near obsession with hygiene played an important role here too. In 1926, an American Public Health Association report recommended that men swim nude, so germs on their suits wouldn't pollute the
I
water.
wonder who came up with that excuse.
Many pools required it. Never mind all the germs on my donger and on my butthole. It's those disgusting swimsuit germs that we don't want.
I mean, to be fair, this is right after that little pandemic they had, right? You know, people dying. You know, we got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, they got a little too careful.
Also, we only been washing hands for like 100
Yeah.
years.
You know, Japan, from what I hear, you know, there was a movie I saw not too long ago, Perfect Days. Like, this bathing thing is a big thing. So they're big on nudity.
Yes.
You know, they're still doing all this. Like, this guy needs to...
And in the saunas in, Scandinavia.
Yeah.
And Germany, yeah, all over Europe.
Yeah, so-
It's not, but Scandinavia, like it's a Swedish,
I mean,
Finnish.
in this article, it says saunas in Germany, for example, remain places where people of all
Yeah.
genders sit unclothed together, apparently without major problems.
That's not what I've read. It's separate. Except for like families can do it together.
No, thank you. Of course, even when public nudity was more widely accepted, it was rarely neutral. Society might have preferred to pretend otherwise, but locker rooms and bathhouses have always carried the possibility of sexual attraction and curiosity. And the naked body has always carried social meaning beyond arousal. It has been an index of beauty, strength, gender, shame. Locker rooms and showers, where bodies were both exposed and compared, became opportunities for people to reinforce social pecking orders. Just consider the term locker room talk, referring to vulgar conversations men might have while changing. Still, sometimes everyday nudity could also bring a sense of ease. I think of the elderly men, mostly Soviet emigres, strolling around a locker room with a complete lack of modesty when I was a child. It's not one of my fonder memories. At the time, their indifference to nakedness felt awkward and intrusive. Later, though, I realized that my discomfort said as much about me as it did about them. What I read then as shamelessness now looks more like a kind of freedom, one that comes from treating the naked body as nothing remarkable at all. And he concludes this way. Such examples suggest that rather than finding new ways to conceal ourselves, Americans need to reimagine the naked body, seeing it not as a provocation, but as a natural fact of human life. This cultural shift in attitudes toward nudity wouldn't happen overnight, nor should it come at the expense of anybody's well-being. As Americans design new shared spaces, though, we might more deliberately examine what kinds of encounters they make possible or foreclose. Perhaps the goal is not to return to old norms of exposure, but to imagine new ones rooted in comfort and respect.
I think the baby steps here are like shared third spaces where people are clothed. Let's start there because those are dwindling as it is, you know.
Right? We're not even clothed in public together anymore.
We can build from there.
Is this not? I mean, I thought it was, but this has got to have a little bit to do with like the women in men's locker room stuff. Like, if I identify as male and look like a dude,
Yeah, I wonder if that,
like I'm a dude,
yeah.
and then I go into a locker room and I get undressed and it's like, oh, vagina. That's got to be part of it, not most of it, but it's like
Yeah.
This seems like this person completely forgets that that's like
Yeah.
a real thing right now.
Yeah. I mean, like Abe is saying, like we don't have third spaces even anymore, and this guy wants to bring back the Meadowlands trough. But if there's one thing that I don't like about a public bathroom in particular, it's when the men's facilities are set up with no privacy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't understand it. It requires so little in terms of infrastructure investment to give you a little bit of a shield of privacy.
Right.
And
Well,
like
this guy wants to pee skin to skin with another man. So, you know, it's fine. He can go find that.
I mean, I grant that I'm a prude in that fashion. I'm a Puritan. Like I don't want to
Bob
be
doesn't even swim with his shirt off.
Oh, look at you.
not a shirts off kind of guy. What do you want me to do?
Swim with your shirt off.
All right, it's now time for the best game in every time slot.
Right.
Friday night. There's a football game on. Might as well watch it. Clemson plus 2.5 points at number 20, Louisville on ESPN. It's a 7:30 start. And, I mean, Clemson sucks, and Louisville lost a game that they
The
probably
ACC is a disaster.
shouldn't have. But, yeah, turn on the ACC clown show and see what's going on there, I guess, on a Friday night.
It's a coin flip according to the ESPN Predictometer. I mean, Clemson beat FSU somewhat comfortably not too long ago, a week ago. Why not? This could become 2 wins because they need 2 of the next 3, and so why not this one? Get one early.
All right, and then the next day, that's, by the way, just as setting the table here, it's not a great day of football. There's Georgia, Texas, which is going to be a great deal of fun. So the top line game is pretty good. And there's, like, in theory, there's some other good games going on.
I mean, there are ranked, going against each other, but it may not be that competitive. Like Oklahoma, Alabama, how competitive of a game will that be? Like,
We don't know.
We don't know.
Also, Notre Dame Pitt.
right? Iowa, USC. There's a few ranked versus
Yeah.
ranked thing. I wouldn't poo-poo it just yet, Bo.
I'm not poo-pooing. I'm just saying. It's not a great weekend. Given that we are here in November, it's like, man, we should really be ramping things up here. But there's not a lot of compelling contests. But we will press on and entertain ourselves nonetheless with college football. At noon, the Big TV, turn on South Carolina plus 19.5 at number 3. Texas A&M on ESPN.
See, I'd rather watch Notre Dame Pitt.
But that's the thing. At noon, there are legitimately like 3 or 4 games that could have gone in this spot on the Big TV, and none of them really jumped out at me. Notre Dame Pitt is on the second TV in the quad box. That's a 12.5 point game.
Upset alert.
Where the coach literally said, no, this is not a must-win game. I don't care about it. It's not ACC. I don't care.
Who said it's not a must-win game?
The coach.
What do you mean, the coach?
The Pitt coach?
Okay, the Pitt coach said that.
Obviously,
I was going to say Marcus Freeman definitely
No,
didn't
Marcus
say that.
Freeman knows that it is.
Yeah.
Right, but
Pitt, I forget his name, but he was just like, the question was, is this a must-win? And he was like, what? No, of course not.
reverse psychology. Then Notre Dame's going to let up. Like, hey, they don't care either, guys. So this will be a nice, fun Saturday afternoon. And then kablam, they lose.
Wisconsin plus 28.5 points at number 2, Indiana, with an over-under of just 44.5 points, which means that's an ugly-ass game
Yeah.
based on those two numbers. South Florida, number 24, minus 9.5 at Navy on ESPN2. And then Arkansas, plus 5.5 at LSU. Sneakily, at 12:45 on the SEC Network, probably the most entertaining game of that window. And I almost stuck that on the big TV just because I think it's going to be a fun game to watch as opposed to all of these other games, which might not be that much fun.
Yeah, that has a lot of potential for just fun.
All right, 3:30 window. The obvious choice is number 11 Oklahoma, plus 6.5 points at number 4 Alabama, and I'm not going to pretend like I have a more clever idea than the obvious choice in this case. It's a rough 3:30 window, and this is the only game that really jumps out at you, except for number 21 Iowa, plus 6.5 at number 17 USC.
At rainy USC.
But fuck that, right? Like, what do we?
This
don't
this matchup is always a colorblind person's worst nightmare. Like it's like the colors are so similar. Alabama,
Iowa, USC?
No, Alabama and Oklahoma.
Are they?
Oh, Alabama, Oklahoma.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. No, for me, the A&M Mississippi State was
that's
the
another
one that
one,
I
yeah.
could not watch.
Wait, you can't. You can see every color, Lori. You cannot.
I can't see those two.
Lori sits there and if there are semi-similar colors happening on the
No,
television
I pointed out.
on two different televisions.
I don't have a problem.
She's like, I just keep getting confused with all of the same colors. It's like, look, lady, there's a thing on the bottom of each screen. It tells you exactly which
I'm
teams are
reacting.
playing.
No, the problem is, okay, like if I want Missouri to win, but I want Iowa to lose, and they're both playing a team that is blue, then like the yellow and black, I forget how to react to what just happened. But whatever, I need to fill out this bullshit, stupid pick'em.
No, I don't think I've done mine yet either.
Yeah, I noticed
You
that. I was
haven't.
like,
Can we skip it? Let's skip it.
I'll just have to do it real fast.
you're withholding your information. You think
Not withholding any. I just haven't thought about it.
That's how I am.
Number 19, Virginia, plus 5.5 at Duke, over under 58.5 on ESPN2. Game with big-time ACC championship implications there.
Right.
Can Virginia bounce back and beat Duke as the road underdog? We've got App State, plus 20.5 points at James Madison. That sounds like a ridiculous game to have on the quad box, but like I said, it's a rough 3:30 window. And also JMU, if they win out and weird stuff happens in the American, may well end up being a group of 5 champion who makes the playoff.
Wow.
So maybe keep an eye on them. And then we've got North Carolina, plus 6.5 at Wake Forest, with an over-under of 38.5 points on the CW at 4:30 p.m. North Carolina is on the verge of becoming bowl eligible. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
They have 4 wins. If they can beat Wake, they're almost certainly going to be bowl eligible.
But then they'd have to either beat Duke or NC State. I guess they could do NC State, maybe.
They could beat NC State. They could beat Duke. That's a rivalry game.
Right.
You throw those record books out the window or what have you, right?
That'd be something if they were getting some bullshit Cheez-It Bowl and then beat like a semi-decent team. Turn things around.
All right, and then 7:30 evening window. Texas, number 10, traveling to Athens, plus 6.5 points. At number 5, Georgia on ABC. It's the game of the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
How do we feel about it?
I wrote off Arch Manning not too long ago.
No, not too long ago.
It's like
not 2 months ago.
It's like I've seen enough. This guy doesn't have it. He's going to Georgia. I typically stay away from the Georgia games because this year I can't tell. But this is going to be a comfortable Georgia win. This Manning guy is going to fuck up.
Manning has quietly had a pretty good season,
Right.
Despite our feelings about him. I think that a classic case of the hype being completely out of control, our expectations being completely out of control, and if you adjust for your expectations, Arch has actually had a pretty good year.
Right. Pretty good year against lesser competition. He's going to fuck up on Saturday night.
Well, the predictometer is with you, but it's only 60-40, Abe.
Right. I mean, they lost to Florida. Come on.
I think we're going to win this game. I think we'll win it relatively comfortably. It is amusing to me that like if you're going into this game, which quarterback do you take? Like you're drafting quarterbacks here. Do you take, you're picking teams. Do you take Arch Manning? You take Grunter. And I think you, just based on what's happened so far this year, you'd be crazy not to take Grunter. Grunter has been a better quarterback than Arch Manning has been this year.
Yeah, no, but like
Don't call him that.
The upper potential, the theory is that Arch would become better in the NFL than.
Yeah, but for this game.
Yeah, for this game. Yeah,
you're picking picking sides for this game.
Yes.
Based on the performances this year, I think that you'd be kind of nuts not to pick Grunter.
Right.
Are we on the verge of becoming Texas's Alabama?
That's my hope.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I just want that.
We beat them twice last year. We beat them again this year. That's 3 times in basically one calendar year.
Georgia has a lot of people's Alabama, except for Alabama.
No,
Yeah.
no, not the way, because Texas beat everybody else.
Anyway, should be fun. I'm quite excited about it.
What would you make of Texas? Not to get ahead of ourselves, but if they lost to Ohio State, understandable. Lost to Florida, not understandable, but whatever. Lose it to a top 5 Georgia team on the road, and then you lose to a top 3 Texas A&M at the end of the year. Like, what is Texas' year? Like, you lost to all the big names that were on your schedule. Like, not to say that that's what's going to happen. They can pick up these, Georgia and Texas A&M and look great. But if they were to lose to all of those and they beat, like, Sam
there's
Houston,
no doubt it's a disappointing year, right? You come into the year hoping you're going to split those 4 games and make the playoff.
Right.
They did not split those 4 games. I mean, not even Florida. You don't even consider Florida on that list, right?
Right.
But you figure you can afford to lose if you go flawless throughout the year. You can almost write off the Ohio State game at the beginning of the year, no matter what, right? You can say that's a loss, and then split with Texas A&M and Georgia, and you're going to be in the playoff at that point.
Right, and you have wins already against Oklahoma and Vanderbilt, who were top 10 teams at the time. And you
can probably even make an argument that if you beat Oklahoma, right, you split with Oklahoma and A&M and lose to Georgia and Ohio State, you're probably in the playoff, right?
Yes.
Like if you look, if it's just 3 losses, and the 3 losses are to either A&M, Oklahoma, and then throw in Georgia and Ohio State, those are 3 tremendous losses, and you win all the rest of your games, you're in the playoff.
Right.
But that's not the situation they're in, obviously. Yeah, it's a disappointment. I think unless they win out, there's no framing this season as anything but a disappointment. To come into the season the way that they did.
If they lose to Georgia, they will want to beat A&M extra.
I mean, they're going to want to beat A&M no
they
matter
hate
what,
them.
Right? They despise A&M. They haven't been there since
the early 2000s.
Right.
The get-in price for that game in a couple weeks is almost $500. What?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Holy shit!
And that is at
Austin.
Oh, is it Austin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, remember last year it was in College Station.
That's right. It was in College Station last year. All right. Elsewhere in the 7 o'clock window on the quad box, we've got Florida plus 14.5 points at number 7 Ole Miss on ESPN. This game, I think, this has the potential to be a very strange game for Lance Kiffin, right? Like, this is the sort of game that Lance Kiffin could fucking piss away. Like,
he did last year.
He's done this before, right? This is the sort of game that could cost him tens of millions of dollars.
There is no chance he loses this game after Florida's putrid performance last week.
It does seem like there's no chance. I grant you that. But if they don't win this game,
oh man, that would be hilarious.
His stock drops dramatically.
I don't think that it does.
On the head coaching open market, I think. Because, of course it does. Florida is not a player for Lance Kiffin. If they go to Ole Miss and beat him, can they justify hiring Lance Kiffin after their putrid Florida team?
Would that be the argument that Florida's going to make? You suck. You lost to us. We can't get out of Florida, man.
We're not paying you $13.5 million a year. We just beat you. You bum. We've got an interim coach who can kick your ass. Why would we?
Yeah.
Why would you pay you?
Yeah, I think if he were to lose, it would be egg on his face, but comfortable win.
All right. Number 13, Utah minus 7.5 at Baylor on ESPN2. UCLA plus 31.5 points at Ohio State on NBC. And Mississippi State, the Bizarros, plus 6.5 points at Mizzou on SEC Network. Is the Mizzou quarterback back? Or are they starting their
I
third
think he was
stringer
out for the
again?
season.
All right, I'm all over Mississippi State then. Unless some other quarterback is playing for Mizzou, who is not the guy that I
don't
watched
think he
play
is.
last week, I'm taking Mississippi State outright. Because that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Missouri looked terrible on offense last week, and Mississippi State can score. All right, and then late window, 10-15, TCU plus 4.5 points at number 12. BYU, can the Cougs get redemption after being embarrassed last week?
So they are predictometers at 74% for BYU. So I'm assuming they're going to win.
Yeah.
Although I would not bet on those Mormons.
All right. I don't think I've gotten, speaking of not getting picks yet, I don't think I have picks in from Cousin Steve either.
Yep, neither of you have anything.
Cousin Steve has not sent his picks in. Lori has not. Oh, no. Lori filled out
I
the bracket.
did.
All right. Give me 10 seconds here.
Oh, if I see you copying any of my picks, Bob.
All right. So we don't have Steve's picks in yet. Steve, I'll email you if you haven't gotten them to me by end of day Friday sometime. Lori's picks. We've got Iowa plus 6.5 on the road at Southern Cal.
In the rain.
In the rain, where Iowa is most comfortable, presumably.
Remember when we went to San Diego, and I've said this before, when it rained, and then it stopped raining, and then the cashier, when I was leaving the store, said, "Say dry out there."
I don't remember that.
I
Surprisingly.
remember. These people are weak.
Is San Diego where I puked up a whole belly full of spaghetti on the sidewalk, or was that Seattle? I think that was Seattle.
I don't think it was Seattle because I was pregnant in Seattle.
Oh, no, it was definitely Seattle because I drank like a bottle of wine. My brother and I split 2 bottles of wine at dinner, and then we went out drinking.
No, that was San Diego.
Where were we for St. Patrick's Day?
San Diego.
Okay, yeah, it was that one.
Yeah. We didn't.
It was awful. That was one of the single worst hangovers of my life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris Howard's a real motherfucker.
I wanted to die. It was the worst. I was just laying on his bathroom floor next day.
I was pregnant.
When they went, and these motherfuckers got up, and they drank just as much as I. Chris drank at least as much as I did the night before, and it is still the AM, and they are getting up to go to the bar.
We went.
We did eventually, but they
No,
left without
Bob,
us.
Let me do it.
Oh, Jesus
Let me
Christ.
handle this. Okay. I was not drunk because I was pregnant. We went out. It was March. So we were celebrating maybe his birthday because of course he invited everyone he'd ever met because we were coming.
I think we were I don't think it was his birthday. It was just like it was an appropriate
It was
time
just
for
St.
us
Patrick's
to go.
Day,
Yeah.
whatever.
Was it a big outing?
He invited everyone
Okay.
he'd ever met.
Yeah.
He invited Emily's sister, her boyfriend, which is weird, his other friend, also Jaron. He invited everybody. It was great. We went out to dinner. They drank a lot.
That's right. Because in Seattle, we had Calvin with us. That it wouldn't make sense for me to get just
That's
fucking
what I'm
shit-faced
saying.
in Seattle.
So anyway, we all went out. It was cool because that was the first night that I'd been out and not drinking at all, like ever. And it was cool to know that, like, I'm the smart one here. Like, I'm not saying weird shit. This person is drunk. I am not. I was tired and, like, as socially awkward as I ever am. And like I said, Chris invited everybody he knows because we were coming, which is obviously our favorite thing when we go to spend time with Chris, to spend time with a
All of
bunch
his
of
college
fucking
buddies.
strangers. Anyway, we all went out. Bob drank way too much. I was a little worried because he was throwing up all over the place, and in Chris's bathroom. And then the next morning,
So, in my defense, I'm not, and wasn't at the time certainly a wine drinker, and I think just he and I basically drank 2 bottles of wine at dinner.
drank a bunch of wine at dinner.
And then where we were,
we went to a bar.
we had
after.
drinks and shots.
Yes. Well, no, we went to a bar after.
I think
And-
we left that restaurant and I had just had a shot, and then we went to
Maybe.
the bar.
Anyway, at this bar, you know how there'll be like mashups of songs?
Yeah.
The mashups, there were music videos that were being mashed up.
What?
Which, as the sober person, I was like, am I the sober person?
That's pretty impressive.
It was very cool and very weird. The timing was like, because I kept glancing up and it's like, is that Michael Jackson in a Kesha video? And like, yes, it was. Because
Wow.
it was very cool. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So Bob's wasted. This was the day before St. Patrick's Day. So we got up early the next morning. I felt hungover, and that's the day I learned how much of a hangover is just being tired, because I was just really tired because I was pregnant and trying to visit my brother-in-law, and instead was visiting everybody he knows. So we went to this like pub, and we had like lunch there, and Chris way overdid it at the pub there. Bob,
Because he was definitely still drunk.
sure,
Like
sure.
he was just still wasted from the night before.
Yeah. So we all went to the pub, and
I
then
don't
we went,
think I drank on St. Patrick's
I don't think
Day.
you did either.
Yeah.
I don't think you had anything to drink, and I was pregnant, so I didn't either. So we went out. It started to rain. It was raining very hard in San Diego, and I remember the streets not flooding, but they're not set up for rain,
Right,
so
yeah.
there was, kind of flooding.
It's because God saw my sidewalk strewn with spaghetti and puke from the night before and was like, this cannot stand. This must be washed out into the sea.
Right.
And down came the rain.
And I was like, the part of pregnant that really sucks, where like I just didn't feel good. Okay, it was just not hungry. Nothing was good. Early pregnant, and it was raining, and we all went back to the apartment. More friends were on their way.
Wow.
But Chris, probably Emily, people had naps. It was nap time.
Okay.
And because the plan was to go out after nap time.
Oh, get
go
your
out
second wind
because
and
it's
go
St.
out.
Patrick's
Okay.
Day. Yeah, we got to go. It's St. Patrick. It was Saturday probably. And I was like, I am not going anywhere. I don't feel good. I am not going to have fun. I went out last night and there were people there, and I would like to sit quietly on a couch. And Bob, being my husband, was like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I will stay with my lame wife. And Chris, the friends came and were like, hey, we're ready to go. It's time to go out. And he kind of stumbled out of his bedroom and saw me sitting on the couch. And he goes, you're staying? And I said, uh-huh. And he goes, lucky. And that is one of the times that I can count, I think, on one hand, that Chris Howard has not gotten exactly what he wants. So it just the joy it brings me.
Yeah.
I got to stay home. He had to go out and drink with all of his friends.
I can't remember. I mean, I know that there were worse hangovers, but that was among the worst hangovers of my life. It was terrible.
Did it last the whole next day? It just
Oh,
lingered?
I'm sure it
I
did.
remember feeling relatively okay after we left that pub after lunch.
In the rain.
And
Yeah,
then,
because you probably ate a nice greasy sandwich.
yeah. And then just like because I'm not a hair of the dog person.
No
Generally
one
speaking.
is. They're lying. Oh, but anyway, the point is, it rained, and then it stopped raining, became sunny, and I went to buy something. I think a phone charger. I think I'd lost my phone charger, and as I was leaving, gave the lady the credit card, and she said, "Thanks. Stay dry out there." And I looked outside at the sunshine and said, "Okay."
All right.
So Iowa's going to win.
There you go.
Florida International University is a home underdog against Liberty. Lori's got FIU. Florida Atlantic University is a road dog against Tulane. Lori is taking the points, FAU plus 17.5 points. Lori is also taking 18.5 points for UAB at North Texas. How did you pick these fucking god-awful games?
Josh Pate picked them.
Coastal Carolina as outright dogs, 2.5 point underdogs at Georgia Southern. Those are Lori's 5 games. Abe, go ahead and give your picks, please.
I have Clemson winning. Remember that. Outright Friday night against Louisville. I think Clemson's riding the ship, so I think they got a win there. Upset alert. I think Pitt is going to beat Notre Dame outright.
Outright as double-digit dogs. For you are getting aggressive. Look at you out in front with your 185 points. Nothing can stop you now. Going for the double-digit dog outright winner.
And I got Georgia covering. Should be a comfortable win. They'll pull away, maybe close at halftime, but Georgia will pull away and win. And then on the NFL front, the Chicago Bears, NFC North tilt. I think they beat the Vikings. I don't even know why they're the underdog there, but whatever. And then the Jaguars, they're a bunch of bums. Their two-way player is out for the whole year. I don't know why they bothered with that very early draft pick of Travis Hunter. Their quarterback sucks, so I think Chargers, easy win. I think I'm going to win every game except maybe that Clemson one.
All right, my picks are as follows. I have also taken Clemson as outright winners against Louisville on Friday night. Give me Mississippi State and the Bizarro Bulldogs against Mizzou. Mizzou quarterback sucks ass, and Mississippi State's going to get another win here in the conference before the year is over. Boise State as outright dogs against San Diego State, and I've got the Tampa Bay Bucks against the Bills. The Bills was it last week that they lost a surprising game?
Yeah, I think it was the Dolphins or something. It was some weird game. It's a weird team.
Give me Baker Mayfield on the road at the Bills, and then I will take the Lions as very slight road dogs against the Eagles.
Well, that could be a fun game.
Yeah, I think that's Sunday night, right?
So you have all dogs.
That's right. I've got a 50-point maximum. You've got a 50-point maximum as well. All right, and just as a quick points recap, like I said, Abe, you're out in front, 185 points. I'm in second place with 180. Cousin Steve, 167. And Lori, hanging out in the caboose with 147 points. It is now time to go to Plains Heaven, where we will hear once again from Jimmy Carter. Jimmy is 6-5 so far this year. Dropped one last week. I was really hoping that he was going to get out to that 7-4 mark. There's just such a big difference. These little swings in a season can really fuck you up. And when you're 6-4, you can get to 7-4. You feel pretty good about where things are going. 6-5, all of a sudden things get dangerous again. So hopefully Jimmy can turn it around this week.
Hello once again to my dear friends at Cast Iron Balls, and also to Ed, a man so full of spite that when his sweet little niece asked him last year if he was coming over before the football starts on Thanksgiving, he shouted pounded the oar in her face, and then stayed home, drank a fifth of Jameson in his underpants, and fell asleep on the couch with a sweet potato in the oven. If the federal government needs some paper pushed around a desk long enough for the boomers waiting on hold to expire, Abe is your man. But a sweet little girl who wants some quality time with her uncle, T. Rock's kid. We're starting to get into the holiday spirit already, up here in heaven. It will be my first Christmas in the hereafter, and on account of all my experience building homes, they've got me working on the nativity scene. I got right to work planning historically accurate first century Judean hill country home, with an upper chamber for guests, and a lower chamber for livestock and the occasional newborn Jesus Christ. I had to get it approved by 3 different committees and put in for an extra $4,500 to get a specialty stone door frame made. But I'll level with you. That door frame was only going to cost me about $800. Delivered. We used to run the same scheme back in the Habitat days. As Rosalind used to say, if we don't skin that cream, you leave all the sweet stuff for the next cocksucker. And I gotta get mine. Unfortunately, I got a note back from somebody at the chain that they're not looking for first century authenticity. They just want the same goddamn cornball plywood barnyard scene every church has been doing since forever. And so I guess I've got to find my extra squeeze someplace else. Just have to make up for it with the gambling. I know that South Carolina has been a disappointment this season. Lenora Sellers has only thrown 7 touchdowns to go along with 5 interceptions. But 18.5 points. That's a lot of points. But Gates is looking at all those points and thinking, you missed your chance by the year. Sweetie, better start praying those teeth fix themselves. When the number is over 18, you take the cops, which is also something Rosalind used to say, come to think of it. Lord, how I miss her. As always, enjoy the games with good food and drink, and most importantly, good company, and be kind to one another. For gosh sakes, almost nothing matters besides that. May God bless this great nation and this great podcast. Until next time, this is Jimmy from Plains for Cast Iron Balls.
Oh, that was good.
Oh, Jimmy. Did you see that Matt Gates stuff?
Is there new Mad Gate stuff? I must have missed it.
What I saw, I couldn't trust because it was on Facebook,
What was it?
so I kind of skipped it.
Same terrain?
Somebody interviewed the victim who apparently had talked to the House committee that decided that Matt Gates had, in all likelihood, paid for underage sex or paid for sex with somebody who was less than 18 years old. And the added detail, or at least one that I had not heard before today, was this is the daughter of a homeless individual. I'm not entirely clear if she was herself homeless or like what her living situation was, but the daughter of someone who was then homeless, who was still in high school and under 18 years old, and was trying to get money to pay for braces.
Oh, no.
And he was forking over cash to her for sexual favors.
Oh, man.
Not great.
That is not great.
Not great.
But that
There's a special place in heaven for Matt Gates for that sort of behavior. I think it's safe to say. Two Rosalind quotes this week.
No kidding.
Double dipping. You've been listening to Cast Iron Balls, a podcast with Bob and Abe. Find the show on Substack, brainiron.substack.com for more from us. The opening and closing themes of the show were composed by Mark Gillig, tetramermusic.com, Tetramer music.com for more from Mark. Abe, did anything else in the world of sport catch your eye this week?
Yeah, this was just out today on ESPN. So, the NFL, they'll have their players rate just the amenities and how they're treated across the league, right? So they'll give a grade.
Like ratemyprofessor.com,
Yes.
except for the NFL?
For franchises. And there are some cheap franchises where they'll make you pay to get like snacks at the, in the facilities and other places. Everything's kind of covered. Like, hey, you work here, whatever. And so there are certain franchises that get low scores, D's, and I don't know if anyone's gotten an F, but like the Jets apparently are not very good at treating their players well for some reason. Other places get marks of A, and it really doesn't really connect to their on-the-field product. It seems to be like how the ownership treats their employees. And so enough owners who are getting these negative scores have complained to the point where they're filing a grievance through the NFL
Can I just say,
Yeah.
Robert Kraft of the New England Patriots being among the ownerships that received a grade of D or worse is somehow incredibly unsurprising, but only because this is a billionaire who would go to a strip mall rub and tug in order to get his rocks off, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'd think if you were a billionaire, there would be more discreet ways that were, granted, yes, more expensive,
Right.
to get done what you needed to get done. But if you're going to the strip mall rub and tug and getting accused of sex trafficking because you're involving like Vietnamese immigrants or what have you in your nefarious doings.
And this was recorded
It's
too.
It's not surprising that you're not setting out the best snack spread for the boys.
But you know, like what's interesting is that you couldn't like I wouldn't have guessed that the Vikings, Dolphins, Falcons get like A's, and then you have the Steelers.
Oh, the Vikings doesn't surprise me at all. Those Midwestern.
Oh, maybe that's what.
Oh, here's a pickle plate.
No, it's the Ziggy fella is their owner, right? Like the
Yeah, Ziggy.
he's
Ziggy Wolf.
I know he's well liked,
Yeah.
but he's like, isn't he some sort of he's like some sort of Arabian businessman?
Oh,
or something,
yeah. Are they known for that?
I don't know that he's Midwestern nice. I think that he's like,
Well, him is the whole organization.
But you know, like you have like well-known franchises like the Steelers and the Patriots. They're on the list of terrible, D or worse. So it's like kind of weird, like how that is. But it's those franchises that are urging the NFL to file a grievance, and their argument is that the collective bargaining agreement, there's some sort of language in it that stipulates that there can't be any bad-mouthing through the public because this is released. So every year they're like, oh, the fucking Steelers got another grade of D. And so they're saying that this violates the agreement. And so they're telling the NFLPA to stop it with these surveys. But they're saying they're going to continue to conduct the surveys and get that information out. So we'll see how this gets sorted out. But you would imagine that if the information is getting out there and it's bothering you that you're getting a grade of D, why not treat people? It's not a big ask. I mean, they're already millionaires. So it's the little things. It's not like, right? So it's like how you treat people is not that difficult to fix. So why are you spending all this energy trying to stop the release of this information going forward instead of just improving the conditions for your players? These other people are doing it. If you want to consult with the Falcons.
and it's guaranteed to be the smallest bullshit, right? Like it's guaranteed that the real issue is they're pinching pennies in ways that don't fucking matter.
Right.
Also, apologies to Ziggy Wilf. He's Zygmunt Ziggy Wilf, born April 1950 in West Berlin, Germany.
Close enough.
Not some sort of an Arabian businessman. I don't think I'd ever uttered the phrase Arabian businessman before.
That was it. Khan Shaheed, the Jaguar owner, I think is
maybe that's what I was thinking of.
It's not clear where he is listed, but
where is he from?
I don't know. Probably like Pakistan, if I had to guess. Khan is a Pakistan name, but Woody Johnson, the two-penis owner of the Jets. He calls the survey totally bogus, and he's the one that's constantly in the bottom of the rankings. Ambassador Johnson.
Shahid Rafiq Shad Khan, born also 1950, but in July, is a Pakistani-American billionaire businessman and sports tycoon.
There you go.
From Lahore, Punjab, Pakistan. All right, Lori, did anything else in the world of sport catch your eye this week?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I want to talk about.
Not that you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Big plans this weekend, Abe?
Recording
the
pod
podcast.
on Friday. There's some sort of wine. Speaking of wine, I hate wine. There's some sort of wine festival before the Georgia game I'm going to go to. But they have like one booth that.
You don't have to go.
It's going to be a shit show.
There's one booth that.
If you hate wine,
So there's.
why are you doing
because
this?
counter programming. They reserve one or two booths for beer, and wine people do not drink beer. There is no line there, so you can just get whatever beer you want. It's great. Like it's a nice scam.
Is it pay for the ticket to get in and then drink
Yeah, it's like
as needed?
like $40. I don't know what it is, but and then it's like for like a few hours, just get whatever.
You're going to be fucking wasted
sure
before
it'll be
you ever make it to the bar for the Georgia game. It's going to be such a disaster.
Hopefully they put them away by halftime because
It's gonna be 1:30, and you're gonna be texting my brother, and you're gonna be like, "I'm coming to Athens, getting
save me a seat."
call me an Uber, I'm coming."
That's right.
Did we end the show?
Not really. Abe, have you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
I guess that's all we've got for you tonight, then, and we'll talk to you next time.
Later.
He just likes to be so cute and be like, "Oh, guess where I am."
Oh, you think that's what's gonna happen? There's gonna be some sort of text on Saturday.
It's 100%, 100%. He's just
Look at this. Where'd that go?
yeah. He'll be wasted. His tickets will have cost $2,000.
That's right.
No, the first time that I'm going to find out about it officially from him will be Saturday morning, and he'll send me like a screenshot of like StubHub or what have you. He'll be like, "So I'm thinking about springing for the $2,000 seats. Like, what do you think?"
I wonder if the decision
Like-
was made this week. Just like, I'm just gonna
It
go.
makes me so mad.
It's a good game to go to, though. Boy.
As Rosalind used to say, if we don't skin that cream, you leave all the sweet stuff for the next cocksucker. And I gotta get mine.
The proceeding was created with 100% human content.